Hello again. I have some more stuff coming up about entities and about the general system of distortion and attack that's happening right now. Some of you may or may not be aware of this already. So there has been in place for the last several millennia a system of distortion that has been created on inorganic lines, ley lines, fields, and crystalline structures within the earth that have been deeply, deeply planted within the earth to not only numb the earth's potential as like sort of a waypoint or intersection, convergence of portals, access within our universe, but also to numb that within us, within our race. Which is a very varied race, has many origins, many star system origins, but here we all are. So speaking to that, I did mention earlier in one clip that that distortional hardware has been attacked and for the most part destroyed. That grid has come down, which made it all of a sudden very interesting to see what authentic manifestations were coming from people, because they didn't have this net of non-reality guarding them and taking their manifestations to a level that wasn't necessarily exactly what they were projecting. It was being distorted and thus keeping us all asleep. So now we have another much more involved kind of complex, complicated way that these negative distortions are taking place within our planet right now. So instead of using a net or energetic field to suppress our DNA enhancement, they are relying on the energies within people and impulsing people. The way that they are able to do this, and the way that they are able to create even more entity involvement and enhancement, is through chemicals and through the use of sound wave frequency, many of which are outside of our range of hearing. They could be very high frequency, they could be very low frequency. They are being impulsed through 3D physical means, through satellite, also through bases that are set up on other planets within our solar system, and also from our moon. So it isn't necessarily coming directly right from structures that are on our Earth. It's now coming, see, it's complicated because the people who are in charge of accepting those frequencies and allowing them to be disseminated through satellites or through various other transmitters on the planet, they have a consciousness within them, entities within them, that are easily impulsed from the negative races, from the dark races. So it's a very complex way of control, but it's basically, at the end of the day, it's relying on people's choices. It's still relying on free will, although most of their choices that are being worked on and played on by these entities are choices that people aren't aware that they are making. And we talked a little bit about water consumption. This goes to mostly, again, it's frequency and thought. It's thought that originates all else. It's consciousness and awareness of thought that originates all manifestation and all creation within the universe. So if you have a person that isn't aware of their thoughts, that isn't aware of their creational abilities, and is subjecting themselves to chemicals and not aware of the electromagnetic pulses that they are receiving into their body through implants and other RFID technology, that's RFID, they are making choices that are basically beyond their control. And that's where the fine line between infringing upon free will within the universal laws comes in. There are also other ways that they are interfering with people. This could be through dreams. This could be through drug-induced states. Ayahuasca is a big one. You've got to be a pretty integrated, self-aware, shamanistic person to be able to safely take ayahuasca or DMT or acid or MDMA or any of these other thought, consciousness altering substances that are so prevalent in our society right now, or even smoking pot for that matter. The reason I'm talking about this is because this is a heavily targeted way of taking down light workers, taking down starseeds. Doesn't matter what age. So yeah, I just wanted to speak to that briefly. It did come up for me to address that it is actually people's choices that are now being used as the control mechanism, and not necessarily solely relying on hardware, like say for example a frequency being emitted by a cell phone tower, or by HARP, or that was much more heavily relied on technology. It isn't so much anymore because it doesn't work into the distortional crystal grid matrix that they had running. So that program is no longer able to run. So they are relying specifically on people just like you and me, on being impulsed by these energies and taking on entities and allowing ourselves to basically have our free will taken from us.